Washington, D.C.
RVing in Washington, D.C. We love free, and there's lots of free in D.C.
So much.
You used to be a tour guide. I used to be a concierge. So I know a really good restaurant when I taste it. And this one.
Okay, today we're going to be talking about another bucket list item.
Yes.
On a lot of RVers' lists, and that is Washington, D.C.
RVing in Washington, D.C.
Yes. It sounds very intimidating, because it is.
Yes, but we're here to help you out and to give you some advice and suggestions, etc.
So stay tuned.
Here we go.
All right. This is going to be an in-depth video with several parts, and we're going to talk about things to see, getting around in logistics, and places to stay.
Yes.
And how to make all that work. All right. So I'm going to start by saying you might have heard me say before, I was a tour director and I was a licensed tour guide here in Washington, D.C. For many years. So I'm used to being on a tour bus. We're talking about people with RVs. If you have a smaller RV, like under 30 feet, you could probably make it work fairly well. If you're towing, I just wouldn't deal with it.
No, don't.
So some of the places you could park over by the tidal basin, sometimes inbound, outbound, Independence or Constitution in certain areas, just type in bus parking DC. Now, there are some websites that give better information than others. You can also get into Union Station. They do paid parking, so you can park your RV just like a bus can park there.
Right.
And so you can check out those various resources. We'll try and drop a link that gives comprehensive information.
However, we'd strongly advise to not do it.
Yes. If you're just passing through for the day, okay. But honestly, if you're going north and south, I would just go ahead, and still there's one metro station that has oversized parking, and specifically for RVs, etc. And that's the Greenbelt station in Maryland. It is on the Green Line. It's at the end of the Green Line. So you can easily go there. Parking is $5 per day during weekdays. If you go on the weekends, I believe there is no fee for parking.
There you go.
All right, so we got a lot of that out of the way.
Yes.
So we're just going to kind of give some basics of what to see, and a lot of what is to see. And one of the attractions is it's free.
Absolutely. We love free, and there's lots of free in DC.
So much. Just to set up some of the basics, around the mall area, all the monuments and memorials, all of the Smithsonian museums, the Capitol, places like the White House and around the White House, the libraries of Congress, the Supreme Court, go over to Union Station, some of the museums more on the outer skirts, the Portrait Museum and Chinatown, and Ford's Theater over there.
Ford's Theater. I love Ford Theater. Yes.
If you go across the river, the Iwo Jima Memorial, that's over in Roslyn, over by Arlington National Cemetery, which is also on the Metro line.
Yes, it's on the Blue Line, I think it is.
Yes. Everything we're talking about is accessible by Metro. So it's easy to get around, which is why we discourage taking your RV down.
Now, there is a bus that does the loop, right?
Yes, there's the circulator, so you can do that. So there's lots of options.
Yes.
Places to stay. And do stick around, because we're going to get in depth with several of these points. We just want to give you a little bit of an overview so you understand where we're coming from.
Right.
Places to stay. The two best places for either convenience or economy. One, let's start non-economical. A nice RV park, the Cherry Hill Park, it's technically in College Park is their address, in Maryland, not far from the Greenbelt metro station. So, they have all sorts of parking there. It's also near the College Park metro station, both on the Green Line. But that campground also offers a round trip bus into DC.
That is a serious advantage for that location.
It is. Now, That's the upside. The downside is, depending on time of year,
Mm-hmm.
let's say on average, it's going to run like 8 to 5. So they're going to leave at 8 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to return at 5 at night. So you're stuck kind of with their schedule.
Yes.
It is, as of current, $22 per person round trip. So also a little bit steep.
Yes.
Because you can get a 3-day pass
Mm-hmm.
on the Metro
Mm-hmm.
for $28.
Yes.
You know, even a single-day pass on the Metro is more economical. And that also gets you on WMATA,
Mm-hmm.
Washington Metropolitan Area Transit Authority buses.
Yes. Which we'll talk more about those.
Yes.
Yes, we will.
All right. So we're going to take a break.
Yes.
Okay.
Guys, take a breather.
Go ahead, smash that like button.
Mm-hmm.
It helps more people see our videos and our channel to grow.
Ring that bell, like we always say, and visit our website, twobearstrekking.com. You have access to both his site and my site. Learn a little bit more about us.
All right. Let's jump back in. All right.
Yes.
So we're going to start back with places to stay, and we're going to tell you where we stayed and how
Yes.
we actually made that work.
Yes.
So a much cheaper option
Mm-hmm.
is the Greenbelt National Park Campground.
Yes.
Okay. So, and that is in Greenbelt, Maryland. It's sandwiched right between the Baltimore-Washington Parkway
Mm-hmm.
and Kenilworth Avenue,
Mm-hmm.
two major thoroughfares that go through Greenbelt.
Now, it could be loud because of that, but because
Yes.
there's enough foliage, enough trees,
Yes.
it kind of cuts the sound down.
Yeah, it's not too bad. You do want to pick sites that are sort of more on the interior
Mm-hmm.
of the park than sort of on the edges.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, the park is at the end of the park road. You have to enter through the north entrance because
Mm-hmm.
although there is a road that goes to the south and you can, as a pedestrian, use that, it's not. for
How long is that
vehicles.
park road, by the way? It's about 1.5 miles to 2 miles
Yes.
to the very end.
So we were at the very end of, I think it was Sea Loop, right?
Mhm.
Which is mostly for RVs. And we were literally as far as you could get and all the way to the bus stop at the north entrance is, I think, like 2 miles.
It's a hike.
4 miles. Yeah. And yes, I don't recommend doing
No.
that particular walk.
No.
So if you are gonna do it on foot, there are 2 ways to do that.
Yes.
One is not far from our site, although
No.
the trail was closed.
Mhm. There was a big storm a few weeks earlier.
Months, yeah.
Yeah, and you'll see photos of trees down and everything.
Right. So it is called the Metro Trail,
Mm-hmm.
and it's maybe half a mile, 7/10 of a mile
Mhm.
through the woods there.
Mhm.
I'm understanding part of the reason why it's closed is a culvert
Mhm.
was washed out, and that's how you get across this sort of little ravine.
Mhm.
And getting across it other ways might not be safe.
Yes.
So just a little hint. Hopefully they will get that back because it is then a short walk to the College Park Metro Station on
Yes.
the Green Line.
Very, very. It's not 2 miles. We'll say that it's a
Right, it's
short
like a
little
mile
walk.
and a half.
Right,
in
which
total.
isn't too bad.
Yeah, and fairly easy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The other thing you can do
Mhm.
if you want to do it via walking public transportation is go all the way back out and take that road south,
Mm-hmm.
where the turnoff is, and you come into the campground road,
Mm-hmm.
and follow that. Even though the gate's closed, it's fine.
It's fine. Just walk down it. It's a paved area.
Yeah, and when you get to the main road, there's the high school there, and
Mhm.
there's a bus stop on either side.
Mhm.
If you take the bus stop on the far side, on the high school side,
Mhm.
that will take you over to New Carrollton. I believe it's the F6, and
Mhm.
it is a WMATA bus, so it's included in your pass.
Right.
And on the side closest to you, you can take it over to the College Park Station
Just like that.
on the Green Line. So the only downfall is that bus runs about every hour on the off peak and every half hour or so on the peak. Just look at the schedule. I believe it's
Right.
F6.
And you have a little bit of a walk to get to it.
And the buses aren't reliable.
Oh.
2 nights, yeah, in a row we had buses that didn't show up.
Right.
And in one case we had to wait another hour
Yes.
beyond that.
So that is a solid negative.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
However, as we said,
Mm-hmm.
you can drive, if you have a vehicle,
Mm-hmm.
drive it over to whichever station you want. New Carrollton if you want to be on the orange line, Greenbelt if you want to be on the green line, and you can park in that lot during the week for a small fee or free on the weekend. All right. As far as the campground itself, basic amenities, right?
Very basic amenities, yes. We'll talk about restrooms. The showers were showers, but there was only one in the units. So it wasn't the best. It wasn't bad. It was a shower. So
in need of updating.
It definitely needed, yes.
No hookups.
No.
A lot of the sites are not terribly level. The pull-offs, you know how we love our pull-offs, not pull-throughs, pull-offs.
Yes, pull-offs.
Some of them literally, I'm not sure how anyone could have leveled. Like the one in front of us.
That was not possible.
Yeah, I think a vehicle ended up parking there and tent camped, but so just be aware of that. You might not know until you get there. And you do have to make reservations online, etc.
Right.
Okay. There is a dump station in Waterville.
That's convenient.
In one of the loops. So and it is open year round, even if that loop is closed.
Right. Now it's an interesting how you have to get to it, but if this is your thing, you'll figure it out. Yes.
So we talked about two good options, a little bit higher end option, maybe with more amenities in the same general vicinity, and this $20 per night. And we hadn't told you that. That's why we liked it. Greenbelt National Park Campground.
Right. So those are places to stay.
Yes. So again, taking the metro, easy access. There's not a lot of metro stations around the National Mall, which is a reason you may find yourself on the bus. You're going to do a lot of walking down there.
Be prepared.
Or use the circulator if you don't mind waiting around for it. But sometimes by the time it comes, you're like, I could have just walked. Okay. We mentioned some of the highlights. Some of the tips I'm going to give you special things to do. Okay. So the Air and Space Museum is now reopening, and you do have to get a timed ticket. Okay,
and it's continuing to grow. They're building and continuing to build, but you can get into it.
Yep, only half of it, about half was open when we were there.
Right.
Another special thing to do. Go over to Ford's Theater. Now, if you book your tickets online, if it's the off season, don't spend the $5 convenience fee.
Nope.
Just go there in the morning, and there are usually plenty of tickets. However, depending on what they have going on there, make sure, check their calendar in advance online, because you may not have access to all of the pieces. So there's the museum.
Right. Great museum. Loved all the stuff down there.
There's the theater.
The theater, literally the theater.
And then there's the Peterson House across the street.
That is where Lincoln passed.
Yes. So you want to make sure you have access to all three of those. So just check their calendar in advance so you can plan your days.
And the reason we're saying check calendar, the theater is an active theater. They were getting ready for, I think, Christmas Carol or something.
Yes.
So you could walk into the theater in the upper area, but it is an active theater. So it shuts down if there's a production.
Yes. All right. So another special thing, and the Library of Congress in the Jefferson Building, they're having their special 125 Live. Yep, celebrating their anniversary. And so there are special evening hours, and Thursday nights usually is their late night.
I loved it.
So you do have to get a time ticket. They had a free concert that night that we went, but we didn't go to do that because we were using public transportation. We needed to be back by a certain time.
But just walking around inside the Jefferson Building was absolutely breathtaking. It is a must-do.
And this is spectacular because they had lighting effects inside that really showed off the building. Areas of the building that normally aren't always open.
Right.
And then they had the DJ playing some really
kind of cool, fun
music
going on. Yes.
And one of the big things is you got to go on the floor of the main reading room,
right,
which is normally closed off.
Right. Took some pictures of that just because it is not a normal spot you can go to. They have an upper balcony. You can look at it, but we actually go onto the floor of it.
Yep.
It was cool.
Yeah. So there are some excellent tips.
Mm-hmm.
Washington Monument tickets, we ended up just reserving ours online.
Mm-hmm.
They do sell out far enough in advance, even in the off-peak season. And instead of standing in line the morning of,
Mm-hmm.
just go ahead the day before at, I believe it's 10 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
They release 30 tickets for select times.
Mm-hmm.
Several select times the following day, and just go ahead and do it that way.
Can I share, just for those of you who love gardens, go to the National Arboretum?
It is the U.S. Botanical Gardens.
Oh yes, it
Well,
is.
Yeah,
It
Arboretum
is. Yeah,
there
it's
on the mall.
beautiful. It's on the mall. That was a highlight. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, because there is actually a botanical garden that's all outside.
Mm-hmm.
This is like the Arboretum or on the mall.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Go to it.
Yes. As far as getting over to Arlington, you can go ahead, and the metro goes over there, as we've already mentioned. If you want to see Old Town Alexandria, the metro goes there as well. And if you want to see the Udvar-Hazy Center over at Dulles Airport, the Air and Space, yes, parking costs $15, but the amount of time you will spend on public transportation and
don't do public transportation for that. Yes.
Yeah, just go ahead and drive over there, and plenty of parking over there. I'm trying to think if there are any other big destinations outside of the downtown DC area.
I don't think so.
I think we hit most of the highlights. Now, I'm gonna sort of wrap up with the best because, and I think it's a place I go every time I'm in the DC area. And that is the Old Ebbitt Grill. It is across from the White House, but technically the Treasury Department is there now, so blocking the White House. So it's right across there, and it gets incredibly busy even in the middle of the week in the off season. It's not super expensive. They have the back open area now. The lots of little quaint bars. And the service is always fantastic.
Okay, he used to be a tour guide. I used to be a concierge, so I know a really good restaurant when I taste it. And this was an experience. You should definitely do this. The food was bar none. It was absolutely the best I've had in a long time.
Yeah, it's an adventure, and it's well worth seeing. Even if you don't eat there, just take a quick spin through, use the restroom.
But eat there.
Down there. So hopefully you found this helpful. If you have additional questions, go ahead, send us an email or drop a comment down below.
He knows stuff.
I know lots of stuff.
Yes.
Subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, and
keep on trekking.